For this class. Alright, so you're welcome once again. The session is still, so we are going to be covering module 5 just like I said today, and our module 5 is on security ethics, right? So understand ISC2 code of ethics, sorry, not security or ethics, understanding ISC2 code of ethics. So because it's very important for you to understand this ethics, and it's part of the requirement for you to pass the ISC2 CC examination. So it's important to understand ethics as a cybersecurity professional. All professions have one or two ethics which all the members are expected to follow. But one thing with ethics is that in most cases, ethics doesn't have a form of legal binding, so to say. Though some may have, if you breach some ethics, you may still go against some law. Okay, but as a professional in a particular field, you are expected to abide by the ethics of that profession. That is what is going to make you a professional, right? So that's what's going to make you to be different from someone that is a quack in that particular line of profession. Alright, so we are just going to go through the objective for the module is to analyze the appropriate outcome according to the canon of the ISC2 code of ethics when examples are given. So we have about 4 of the canons which we are also going to talk about. Alright, so let's just go into ethics. So what does ethics mean? So just like I explained, ethics is a set of guidelines that outline the expected behavior of an individual in a particular profession, right? So you can be a doctor, you can be a pharmacist, you can be a cybersecurity professional, you can be a policeman, you can be a nurse. All these professions actually have ethics that guide them, and which you are expected to, that's the type of behavior that should be found in someone that is in that particular profession. So it functions like a moral compass. So like a moral compass, we all know what a compass is. Compass shows you the direction. Okay, so it's like a moral direction which guides how you are to conduct yourself in any situation you encounter while you are working. So and then then this is just a breakdown of the ethics. You are to comply with the principles. So the principles are the core value of that particular profession. It could include your honesty, integrity, objectivity, fairness, confidentiality, depending on the profession, but it has to be specific. So let's say for a doctor, for example, when you go in to see a doctor has to be professional. A doctor is expected to be friendly when you go in to see a doctor, right? So that's what will make you to be willing to tell the doctor what is actually wrong with you. But if you go into a doctor's office and he's frowning, right? It's not as if there's a law that is going to punish him for frowning at you, right? But it's against the ethics of their work. So whatever they are going through at home, although they are also human beings, but whatever they are going through at home, they have to be friendly to you as a patient so that you will be able to come up and open up to them. And also they have to treat whatever you tell the doctor must be treated with utmost confidentiality. So that's part of the ethics of their work, right? So the same thing applies to cybersecurity professionals. We have different ethics that guide what we do, because in the course of our activity, in the course of our work, we are going to be in situation whereby our moral will be tested, right? Our morals are going to be tested, and then you're now going to choose: do you want to be a professional, do you want to be ethical, or you want to be unprofessional? So we'll get to that as we go. And then ethics give us a particular standard, expected behavior, which you are to uphold. Okay, so for example, a code of ethics for doctors might specify how they should handle patient confidentiality. So the same thing for cybersecurity professional, because you are going to be dealing with sensitive information about a company that maybe you are working for them, or you are consulting for them, or you are auditing them, or you are carrying out a penetration testing on them. Depending on whatever aspect of cybersecurity you venture into, you are going to you are going to have access to sensitive information of your organization, and you are going to have access to sensitive information of some other organizations. Okay, it's important for you to treat it with confidentiality. There are other things that will come on in that we there are other aspects of cybersecurity that you also need to be ethical, which we are going to mention going forward. So, and then another aspect of ethics is enforcement. So there are mechanisms in place to ensure professional adhere to this code. So you have to, because if you have the ethics and there's no form of enforcement, people can decide to and people can decide not to. So for example, if you go against some ethics in the medical profession, we all know that although you may not be jailed, but your medical license to practice may be withdrawn, right? There may be disciplinary action, you may be asked to pay fine, you may be expelled from the profession, which means you will be unable to practice in that particular field also. So these are the reasons why it's important for professions or different professions to have ethics. So, and then what are the purpose for ethics? So ethics promote trust. Okay, so because you know a doctor is not going to divulge your information to a third party or anyone, you'll be willing to share whatever is wrong with you, no matter how confidential it is to you, but because you want treatment and you cannot treat yourself. And then the doctors have due to their ethics, you know that he is not going to disclose it, then you are going to disclose whatever ailment you're having to that particular doctor. So the same thing in cybersecurity. So if, for example, as an organization, you want to conduct an audit or a penetration test, right? You may be skeptical of why should I call someone from the outside to come and audit me? Why should I call someone from the outside to come and carry out penetration testing on my environment, right? So because you are going to be speaking, we are going to be dealing with professionals, people that are ethical, right? So it promotes that trust. You know that, okay, they are going to do their work. Whatever vulnerability they discover is going to be disclosed responsibly to me as the client, and then you'll be advised on what to do, on how to remediate those vulnerabilities that are discovered. So that's one of the key purpose of code of ethics. So it promotes trust. You get to know, you are assured that your information is secure in the hand of the professional. So another thing is that it ensures fairness. It guarantees a level playing field by establishing ethical guidelines that everyone must adhere to. Okay, so in the same way. So for example, if you are called to come and carry out a penetration test in an organization, okay, the same way you are going to do it, because there's an ethical way of doing penetration testing. There's a guideline, there are processes, there are procedures you should follow. So as a professional, the same method you're going to use is the same method another consultant is going to use to be professional. So it makes sure that the field is fair and competitive, right? So that's also another purpose of ethics. So it ensures fairness because it creates a guideline, ethical guideline, which everyone must follow. It also protects stakeholders. So it safeguards the interest of people that relies on this professional. So as doctors, you know, your patient relies on you. As cybersecurity professional, our clients rely on us, our employers rely on us. So it protects them. They know they have this level of trust, they have this level of belief that their information is safe with us. So it protects them, and also because the ethics prohibit us from revealing this information, or the ethics prohibit us from carrying out certain actions. So the ethics serve as a protection to the stakeholders. So let's say, for example, you are asked to come and carry out the penetration testing in a bank, right? And then you discover a key vulnerability that can allow you to credit or debit an account, right? You have the power to do it. You can do it if you want to do it, okay? But that's going to be against the ethics of cybersecurity, right? So that means you are going against the ethics. So but because you have to be professional, because you have to be ethical, so the ethic is also protecting the stakeholders that that have called you to come and carry out this particular activity in their environment. And then the last thing is that it guides decision making, because it's a framework, it's a guideline. Whenever you come across a tricky situation, there's already the right thing to do, right? There's a right thing to do, so it guides your decision making. You know that I cannot do this, I cannot, just like the example I gave previously. Whenever you see an exploit, you don't take advantage of it, right? You only report it to the owner of the system. So that is what those are the key purpose of ethics in a professional. So and then in cybersecurity, though I've also explained it in the example I was giving previously, so we'll just run through it again and so that we don't take too much time. So trust and credibility. So I've said that earlier. So cybersecurity professional are entrusted with safeguarding sensitive data, right? So a code of ethics fosters trust by ensuring professional act with integrity and respect user privacy. So if you, just like I said, if you are asked to come and audit an organization, you have to, whatever information for example, if you are auditing, let's say a bank, you may ask for their client information. You can see their client information. You can, or if you are carrying out penetration testing, you may discover an exploit that can allow you to see account balance of different people. So, but because you are a professional, you have to keep it professional, right? So you are not going to go and disclose it to people. Okay, and then you act with utmost integrity. And the only thing, and one of the key things that separate an ethical hacker from an unethical hacker is the motive. Okay, so one of the key things is the motive. So the motive is that for an ethical hacker, you are testing a system with the intention of improving that particular system, or with the intention of discovering a vulnerability and disclosing it to the owner of the system. So that is what makes you ethical, right? And then due to your integrity, due to the integrity which is expected of you, don't let me say due to your integrity, due to the level of integrity that is expected of a cybersecurity professional, if you discover a vulnerability, just as I've been saying before, you have to responsibly report it to the owner, right? You are not expected to exploit it. You are not expected to use it for your personal gain. So let me put it that way. So you are not expected to steal. You are not expected to use it for your personal gain. The other guys will use it for their personal gain. So that is one of the key things that separates cybersecurity professionals from the bad guys. Okay, so this builds a level of confidence in the profession. So when you, for example, even if a bank did not give you the authorization to test their network, but maybe probably are a bug hunter, or you are just carrying out your research and you discover a vulnerability. Okay, if you have built that particular reputation, and when you approach them and you mail them to discover that I discover so in your environment, please kindly patch it. There's going to be this level of confidence that okay, yeah, so this guy is not a bad guy, it's not trying to harm us, and then they will listen to you. It's different from when you call them. Okay, so you can see, you call, you pick up your phone and or you send your email, very nice written email, and say, dear network admin, it has been discovered that one of your port is open, which can lead to so attack. Kindly close the port, for example. So you see, when someone see that message, there is a level of confidence that they have in you, that okay, this guy know what he's doing, he's not threatening us. But instead, you send the email and started threatening them that if they don't give you money, you are going to disclose what you have found to the public. So you can see that is not professional, right? So that is not professional. So those are the things. So you have to build trust and credibility. So that is one of the ethics that is expected of a cybersecurity professional. So another thing is there should be clear boundaries. So the digital world is very possible to get lost between what is ethical and what is not ethical, especially in our line of in our field of work. So just like the example I gave, right? If you should come across such vulnerability, okay, so let's say if the bank or that particular organization has not given you a clear authorization for you to test their network, right? You are not expected to test the network. You are not allowed to do it. On no ground should you test a website or someone. It can be tempting because you have the skills, you have the tools to do it. But if you don't have an authorization to do it, you are not allowed. Ethics does not allow you to do it. So those are the boundaries. So ethics like try to state the clear boundaries. But there are organizations that put it on their website or maybe on bug hunting platform that you can test our network and report vulnerability to us, right? So that is something that is allowed. You can do it. But in a case whereby maybe you are using a platform, maybe you are using your bank internet banking application, or you are trying to use one of their portal online, and in the process of using it you discover a vulnerability, then you can report it. But you see that it's different now. You are using and then you discover, then it's allowed for you to report it responsibly. But if the bank has not asked you to carry this out, okay, you are not allowed to do it. So those are the clear boundaries. So because one of the key aspects of ethical hacking is authorization. You have to be given the authorization to carry it out before you do it. So don't let us misuse our skills. Don't let us misuse our technical skills. Then the next thing is legal compliance. So many cybersecurity practices are regulated by law, just like what I just said now. So there are some, for example, in the Nigeria, I'm aware. I'm not sure. I don't know if you guys are aware, but we have a cybersecurity act in the country. Okay, and there are some infrastructure that are classified as critical national infrastructure, and if you are found to hack any of them without authorization, you can be jailed for up to 10 years, right? You can be jailed for up to 10 years for doing that. So there are there are regulations that you're expected to be complied to. So code of ethics ensures that professionals stay up to date. So you are expected to know the actions you can take that is within the law, and the actions you are to avoid that is also that the law frown against, so that you not be penalized, you will not be fined, and then you will not also cause penalties to your employer. So let's say maybe if you have an organization and then you are expected to be complying to we talked about it, the NDPR yesterday. That's the Nigerian National Data Protection Regulation, right? If your organization is expected to be compliant to that particular law, and then you as a professional, ethics mandate you to inform your employer to make sure that they comply to that regulation, so that they avoid fine. Another thing, if you are complying and then there is a breach, okay, it is the right thing to do if there's a breach is to report it. Okay, no matter how difficult you may find it, anytime you refuse to report a breach to the regulators, that is also unprofessional, right? And it can also lead to penalties or fine for your employer. So that's also very important. And of course, the last thing is maintain professionalism. So all these things we have been saying is that you have to maintain your professionalism. You have to, everything you do have to be within the ethical ground in cybersecurity. So that is also very important, right? So then here we are going to talk about the 4 canon of ISC2 code of ethics. So ISC2 code of ethics is also an example of professional code of ethics in cybersecurity. And if you are planning to take the exam, the CC is the entry level, which will establish that you are professional. Then it goes up to, I think, CISP or CCSP. I'm not sure which one is the highest on the pyramid, but they have different level of certifications that you can take as you progress in the field of cybersecurity. So if you are going to be a member, and then it also comes with membership. When you pass the exam, you'll be asked to pay around $50 to become a member, right? So it's optional. You can become a member, you can decide not to become a member, but I'll not tell you to become a member because I'm not yet a member, but maybe that will change soon. But The case is that you can also become a member, and it's a society, and you have to act honorably. You have to do what is right. And then they have this four main canon of for their ethics. So the first one on the list is to protect the society, the common good, and infrastructure. So this is straightforward. So as professionals, you are expected to protect your society. You are expected to safeguard your critical system. You are not expected to do anything that will put them in jeopardy. Although most of our public infrastructure in Nigeria are not reliant on technology yet, okay, except for maybe our banking and our telecommunication. Okay, most of the other things are still kind of analog. They are not reliable. If you find yourself in an environment whereby their electricity grid, their transport system, their water system, almost everything is digitized. So those are critical national infrastructure, and you are not to do anything that will put them in jeopardy. You have to make sure you protect the common good of the people. You're not going to say because I now have the skill to hack anything, and you just wake up and say, I want to even see how strong our real network is, and then you want to hack it. So that is not the right thing to do. Okay, so the next line on the canon is to act honorably, honestly, justly, responsibly, and legally. So all these are words that we know. We all know what it means when someone tells you to act honorably. Okay, honesty. You have to be truthful. You have to you have to say things the way they are. You have to be just. Okay, you have to use whatever level of access you have to use them responsibly. So this guides your ethical behavior. This is more or less like your moral compass that guides you on what you need to do and what you not need to do. Okay, so this is also clear. I don't think I need to waste too much time on this. These are words that we all know what they mean. So it's just for us to apply it in cybersecurity. So you know what is legal, you know what is illegal, right? So that is what is expected of us as professionals, right? Then the next one is to provide diligent and competent service to our principals, right? So if you have an employee and they have tasked you with the work of maybe you are part of a blue team, which is to defend the organization from threat, you have to be diligent. You're expected to be very competent and provide your service to the best of your ability. If you are part of the right team that asked to look for vulnerabilities, you have to show your competency. Okay, you don't have to be lackadaisical about work. So that is also professional. When you are not turning up, when you are missing deadlines, so that is unprofessional. So that is what that is talking about. And then the last one is to advance and protect the profession. Okay, so you have to, because you have to uphold the reputation of the field. So just imagine, let's say as a cybersecurity professional, you have ISC2, you have CISSP, you have CH, you've passed different certification and stuff like that, and then you are found to be involved in a fraud case, or you are part of a cybercrime syndicate. Okay, you are in collaboration with their hush puppy and the likes, right? So that means you are soiling the reputation of the profession. So we are expected to uphold the reputation of the field. We are expected to, because we are the representative of the industry, we are expected to do things the right way. We are not expected to do illegal stuff, because whatever we do will reflect, because when people say, they say, even the professionals are doing it, right? And then it's going to now have a ripple effect on other professionals, because whatever you do, will be used to judge the others, right? So those are the four canons of the code of ethics for cybersecurity. So like I said, it's a very short class, and then this brings us to the end of module 5 and also chapter 1 by extension. So chapter 1, like I said, is security principle, and then we'll just have a quick recap of what we have learned so far. Okay, of what we have left so far. I'm not going to be, because I didn't actually do everything here, so I'll use this, then I'll go to the PDF document, which of course I'm going to share with us for us to all go through as our summary. So we have covered, well, what have we covered? So the first thing we did in our first class is we talk about what we call the CIA triad, right? When we are understanding the concept of cybersecurity, understanding the information assurance. So we talk about confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And confidentiality simply means that data that needs protection to prove to data that needs protection from unauthorized access or unauthorized disclosure. You ensure that you ensure that it's that way. You prevent unauthorized individual from having access to such data, from them to be able to view it, or for them to be able to see it. So that's what confidentiality is all about. The integrity is to ensure that data has not been altered in an unauthorized manner. So data can be altered, but it should be altered in only an authorized manner. It shouldn't be altered in an unauthorized manner. So we've talked about this previously. We are not going to start explaining this all over. So it's just for us to see. But like I said, it's a recap. Then availability is to ensure that data is available at all time for all, or at all time and in all form and the format required for authorized user. So whenever an authorized user needs to have access to the data, he or she should be able to have access to it at that time. So that is availability. And then we also talk about some other things there, which you are going to see in the PDF document when I share it. Okay, and then in our chapter 2 we talk about threats, and threats can be carried out by different type of actors, which can be insider. Which insider attack can be deliberate or by accident. So we've talked about that previously. Then we have outsiders, okay, which can also be planned, or which they can also discover vulnerability by opportunity. And then we also have a formal entity that are non-political. So that can be your business competitor or cyber criminals that are after your data for financial gains in most cases. Then formal entities that are political. So this can be terrorists, it can be nation states. We've had cases whereby Russia is hacking US is hacking Russia, US is accusing China of using their equipment to spy on them and stuff like that. So that is where this category falls on. And also we have activists, people that do a form of protest by attacking the cyber landscape. For example, during the Russia and Ukraine war, we can see that some systems were shut down in Russia, or some were shut down in Ukraine by activists. And also in Nigeria, we've witnessed some form of activist attack on our infrastructure. The recent one being when the president announced that the country is going to ban or suspend Niger or cut off their electricity and stuff like that. We had some level of attack on our infrastructure, most especially our telecom, by the anonymous group, right? So that is former entities that are political. And then it can also be in form of intelligence or information gathering. Okay, and threat can also come in form of technology. So we've discussed all this in our previous class. So before we go to questions, let me just